I would just like to start out this video real quick before it begins and thank everyone who has subscribed to me in the past few days. I appreciate it very much. We just hit, I think that the last time I checked, we're at 306 subscribers. It could be more now. And that was from a GTA YouTube short. So I don't expect you guys to like this content. And I do want to warn all of you that I don't actually do GTA that often. I will stream it at least once a week, but it's not really my prioritized content. But I hope there's something on my channel that you guys can still enjoy. I try to do a video a week. It doesn't always work out, but I will continue to put out as many shorts as I can. My goal for the end of this year is to hit 500 subscribers, so let's see if we can do it. I do have plenty of footage to make some GTA compilations. If you would like to see that, let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy. If you're a Killer Klowns fan, I'm just doing a lot of speculating in this video for the roadmap and what's next for the game, from game modes to characters to customization, new maps, all that. Thank you very much once again, and I hope you enjoy the video. Oh, and if you do enjoy, feel free to leave a like, and if you don't like it, please feel free to leave a dislike. See ya! Alright, I've got a lot to talk about today. I even wrote a script to jot down a bunch of my ideas, and I do have a bunch, but I also came across old footage of gameplay and unreleased assets, and the roadmap came out, so I'm going to do some winging mixed into some of my scripts, because there's so much that I want to show and share with you, from my ideas to speculation on what they're doing next. Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game, has been out for a few weeks now, and I think it's time to talk about what the game's future holds for its players. There are balance changes that could be arguably made, but that's not really what I'm here to discuss today. I want to talk about new features I'd like to see added to the game. I also want to clarify, it's not my intention to put high expectations on the future of this game, but to give the developers as many ideas as I can to benefit the game's lifespan. I very much love Killer Klowns, and I want to see the game thrive and outlive its asym survival horror predecessors. Some of my first videos on my channel were about Evil Dead the game, in hopes of helping that game survive. I was a bit late to help, but the game has ever since been in a dead limbo, with no new updates other than a permanent double XP increase. Saber Interactive has shown no interest in revival of the game, no story mode, or simply giving the game to any developers who care. You can still play the game, but it takes 20 minutes to find a match because no one will play it anymore, really. Anyhow, I'm not really here to talk about that today. Maybe another time. Definitely have some old footage I would like to use. First, since it just recently came out, I'm going to go over the July, August, September, and October roadmap for the game. Let's start with July, and I believe they've already dropped the zombie clown skin. I can't remember for who, and that's one of their new killers that new character that they would drop for July. We don't know how many new characters they'll drop for July. There could be one a week, because they kind of consider the new characters to be skins, so it's a possibility. Let's see, after a thrilling launch month full of events, cosplays, and pure clowns versus humans mayhem, July will be a time for honing in player feedback for a patch update focused on fixes and overall quality of life. That's very good, nothing wrong with that. And in August, next month, new patch, new map, get ready to chase or be chased through damp and shady passageways. Try not to slip and look forward to some highly requested features and an out-of-this-world DLC. Well, I will get on to speculating about because there are going to be at least 2 new maps on this roadmap here. So I'm going to speculate about something, and if you've seen the news cycle for this game years ago, you'll know what I'm talking about. Through damp and shady passageways. We'll get back to that. But August has a new map, new gameplay features. I'm also talking about new gameplay features as well. New characters too. September, this action-packed patch has big updates for both clowns and humans. Prepare for an immersive experience and heightened gameplay. Plus DLC, homages to 2 very important figures in horror. Ooh, that's cool. It could simply be the Kyoto brothers, but, or is it Kyoto brothers? I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. They've kind of been paying homages to them through this whole game, so it's gotta be something else, and I'm very curious to see what that would be. New gameplay features, new mini games, new clowntalities. Maybe the clowntalities are the homages. That'd be cool. I was thinking for important figures as in actual people, but maybe they're talking about like horror characters and killers. Just for the heck of it, I looked up when's the next Friday the 13th taking place. And wouldn't you know it, it is September 13th. Now, isn't that interesting? I don't know what they could do, but it's an interesting coincidence. And then October is that special time of the year, so suit up, bring your own costume, or shop around. And a new map that will ensure you're dressed to impress. Big surprises are coming with this month's DLC drops. Just so I don't lose the idea, I'm simply going to guess right on the spot that the new map could be like a giant mall. And that would be pretty cool if it was a giant mall. But that's just to drop the idea before I forget it, based on their hint. And I'd like to say I'm very happy with them having a roadmap, because was it frustrating not really having a roadmap with Evil Dead? They just kind of dropped stuff on a whim, if at all, and then they took forever to tell us they were just going to discontinue the game with updates anyway. I'm not sure Texas Chainsaw even has a roadmap. But yeah, let's get on to my speculation, and we'll kind of connect the dots to the roadmap. Let's talk customizations, new human characters, new clown skins all together. To start, I'd love to see Officer Dave. Nobody calls him Officer Dave, just Dave. And the Terenzi brothers as playable characters, and the brothers could have ripped up shirts and lipstick mark skin variants from the aftermath of their encounter with the female clowns in the movie.
Are you Debbie's roommate?
You could also do a weird glitter ice cream covered version for the Terenzi brothers from the ending of the movie as well.
Oh, in the freezer with the ice cream.
I've also seen some people ask for Officer Mooney to be playable, but we gotta keep in mind, unfortunately, John Vernon passed away in 2005, and Peter Lucasse, one of the Terenzi brothers, passed away in 2020. So, unless their families are okay with having their likenesses in the game, it's not likely to happen unless they make the characters and change up their faces a bit, kind of like how Dead by Daylight did their Ellen Ripley. Even though Sigourney Weaver's alive still, but I would have, on a side note, liked them to have gotten Sigourney Weaver's likeness, but yeah, that's a whole other topic. Anyway, even though Mooney does die in the movie, it'd be cool to have him as a playable option nonetheless, as his character, without a doubt, is a part of the charm of the original movie. We may most likely only get Dave out of all those characters, which is fine, because I love his character. And John Allen Nelson, just based on the guess, would probably be fine being in the game, since Debbie and Mike are already in. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't want to be in. There could be one. Let's go to cosmetic customizations now. Some of the ideas I have. I got plenty more though. New hairstyles and mixing hair colors would be cool. And adjusting how much color has an effect on hair, like a bar to decide how light the coloring is, and that could be one of the ways to mix the hair colors. Share all clown outfit patterns between the clowns for more customization, if that's possible. Because if you've noticed, the clowns all have different patterns per clown, and it'd be kind of nice once you've unlocked them if you can have that pattern on a different clown as well. The clown hairstyles don't even have the same colors within the same clowns. Like, for example, he has 3 different hairstyles that I have unlocked, and for their color customizations, they all have different colors that you can't. Like, you can have purple on one hairstyle, but not on the other. Some weird inconsistencies like that. Just to have a bit more customization and make your clown more unique to you. Even maybe share some of the clown's hairstyles too would be good. Some of them might look funky, but also, it'd be cool. Here's some clown characters. There's quite a few. I've probably missed some, but these are clown characters that could add, aside from any new unique costumes that they come out with, like the 2 that they've done for the Ranger and the Trapper, was it? No, the ranger and the tracker. One of the two. There are many more background clowns from the movie that they can make customizations for if they feel like it. Like Slim and Bibbo, they're already in the game, but they have no customizations that you can do on them. They're just one skin. It'd be kind of nice to be able to mix up stuff on them. It's not 100% a requirement, but I think it'd be cool. A Fatso skin for Chubby, the tent class. I don't recall if there's a Joe Clown skin, but if not, then put him as a Trapper or a Tracker skin. A Midori variation for Rudy. I believe Midori is the clown on the original cover art for the movie. It'd be kind of unique to have that skin. They could even have a unique variation of it as well. Ital's clown skin, storefront Rudy Trapper skin, Frank Trapper skin for Rudy. Some people want the exact female clowns from the movie, which are Rosebud and Daisy. They're the ones that kiss the brothers in the UFO. I don't mind that at all. They could be skins for Shorty, or they could be a whole new clown type altogether. I dug through the official Twitter account and found some unused goodies and a bunch of gameplay footage from 2 years back. I'll show you some of it now and some of it later when we get to the next topic. But let's start off with some of the images I found. Some are concept and some were actually made in the game. They could come in the future, we'll have to see, only time will tell. Like this right here is Shortys Bike from the movie, obviously, but who knows if it would be used for a finisher, or if he would possibly have been able to use it as an ability to traverse the map. I don't know. I'd like to know some more of their ideas behind it. Hopefully it can come through the game in some means at some point. I have one idea, a really outlandish one, that I'll share later that it could be used for.
Should have let the man ride his bike.
There are different clown guns. The different clown guns that I have not seen in the game, possibly just not yet in the game. Who knows if these will ever get added. This Twitter post here says that this is Shorty's ray gun. They ended up changing this to be the bounce caster, but it was originally apparently supposed to be Shorty's ray gun. So I assume for each clown class they originally had them kind of tied to one specific gun. So I don't mind them changing that. It's good to have your own preferred gun no matter what clown you are. There's an image of Spiky the clown, and he has some chattering teeth, and the Twitter post kind of alludes to it being a possible ability or a weapon, which would be sick. We still need the baby clowns back in action. I know they were meant for the Trapper class ability. It was in the description of the Trapper clown when I first started playing the game, when it had first come out. I think actually like the pre-early access. And a few days after the game officially came out, it disappeared. If I had to guess, they decided to cut it from the game and it's not coming back. I do think a lot of clown players would agree it'd be nice to have a trapping ability, and the baby clowns are an iconic part of the movies, so it sucks that they may not be added. I did actually manage to find some gameplay of this, some of the baby clowns, thanks to Reddit. This is a video from Jay on YouTube. I'll put his name up on screen with his channel. I'm just happy to see how they worked. It wasn't quite exactly what I expected. I assumed it to only be attached to like the teleporter and stuff like that, like main objective things. But it being placed anywhere you want is kind of cool for gameplay, but it does seem to be a bit frustrating for the survivor. So I can understand why they removed it, but I wish they would rework it to be in the game in some way, shape, or form. Still cool to see. I also want to briefly mention this ground slam that the tank clown does in this old clip. Another piece of unused clown abilities, I assume. A pie throwing ability was one idea I had. It'd be fun whether it's like a clown wind up catapulting a bunch of pies for a few seconds, or it's an alternate weapon choice. It'd be fun to have. It's not 100% necessary, but it's just an idea. I know there's already that one finisher. I'd even say you could use a balloon sword as a clown weapon too, instead of just a finisher cutscene item. I also want to bring up clown finishers for a minute here. I don't expect this to change the future, but I personally would like to see the finishers take place in the active map gameplay instead of the clown player hitting the execution button and taking the player to an alternate void dimension, you know? Back when Friday the 13th came out, it was always fun to play as Jason or watch Jason, watch him do a finisher on a teammate, if you were ballsy enough to stick around, of course. And it added an extra sense of terror, seeing what was possibly going to happen to you. I get the cartoony cloud thing might make it easier, and the clown doing the finisher won't know where people ran off to, but it takes away the sense of horror, and in my opinion, and also who could forget all the corpse launches and funny things the bodies in Friday the 13th would do after Jason killed someone. I can just imagine how funny it'd be seeing somebody's body go flying after getting hit by the giant clown mallet from the finisher. And it could just go flying anywhere. It'd be terrifying to me to walk around, let's say looking for the teleporter, and your teammate's body lands right next to you and lifeless. And the bodies stayed there in Friday the 13th and had an effect on the gameplay to make you feel like you were in a horror movie if you stumbled across a fellow dead teammate. I think that's lost in translation from Friday the 13th to this game, and also kind of lost from the movie, because, you know, that does happen where people stumble across bodies and stuff. All the finishers in the game, aside from the giant clown stomp, and I think the shadow puppets, would have no issue taking place on the maps, and you could still make them work. If you're worried about flipping, just do it like Friday the 13th and make it so the survivors have to be enough space away from walls and stuff like that to be able to do specific finishers, which would of course be abused by survivors possibly to make it hard for clown players to want to do finishers. To do so, my solution would be to allow clowns to have the ability to carry or move them out into the open for a finisher in some fashion. You would kind of be able to do that with Jason. It'd be nice to do that with the clowns, whether it's something funny like putting them in a balloon and carrying them around for a limited time, something of that likeness. I think it would help to make gameplay even more exciting if finishers were on location. And a solution for if the clown can see where other players went during the finisher is just to give that clown player a debuff of sorts that makes it so any survivors within the radius of the finisher's running notifications can't be seen for 20 to 30 seconds, so the clown has no idea how far or where they ran aside from the last direction they saw them go. And while we're on the topic, I'd also like to pitch a straw cotton candy finisher from the movie as well. You know, the clown can just cocoon the survivor and put a straw on them and drinks it just like in the movie. I also want to advocate for more unique finishers that aren't from the movie. One original finisher I just thought of was, what if we got a finisher of the clown making a balloon dog, then sticking it on the survivor and it mauls the survivor. That could look really funny. Alright, now we're on my map section, and to be honest, I only really have one map that I've thought of a lot because I recalled seeing the gameplay for it. We have a decent selection of maps in the game at the moment since it first came out, and this is a piece of seemingly removed content. We have yet to see if they will add it, and it will be one of the next two maps, like we talked about a few minutes ago. The road map says, for the first map they have on this list, through damp and shady passageways. Get ready to chase or be chased through damp and shady passageways. Try not to slip, and look forward to some highly requested features in an out-of-this-world DLC. Out of this world makes me think of the UFO map, and that's what I want to talk about. Same with damp and shady passageways. I wouldn't necessarily entirely describe the environment of the UFO as damp and shady. I mean, it's definitely shady. I don't know about damp. Maybe the cocoon room. But point being, that could be what they're talking about. Otherwise, the UFO map may truly be lost to development, because I've talked to some people about it. And the UFO from the movie does have elevators. It's got different levels to it. It might just not work for this gameplay. Unless they come out with a different game mode, it's not likely to work that well. It could, but then there's a possibility of clowns camping elevators. They could come up with alternate escape routes to different floors. Who knows? I originally saw the power room of the UFO on Instagram years ago. and I'd noticed they had removed it ever since, and I couldn't find it until I did that digging into their Twitter account. We still don't know if they decided against adding it to the game, like I just said, or if it wasn't finished on time. I would like to hope it just wasn't finished on time, but they did have it being worked on 2 years ago, so just not so sure about that. It could be that they're trying to rework it to make it work for the gameplay. Here's the UFO version of the trash can that the survivors could hide in. And then if you notice here, the crazy house is open. So in this build of the game, you could explore it. I would appreciate if they had kind of random variations of maps. They kind of already have random setups for where the objectives are. So I wouldn't mind if they switch up some map locations being open and unopen and different obstructions. They could even open up locations like Devi's house, stuff like that isn't available, that's from the movie. Could have some unique changes like that here and there for your variations. And because the UFO is such a big part of Killer Klowns and deserves to be in more than just the background of the maps, I'd like to propose a way to still use the map and integrate it into normal gameplay. If it's too complicated to turn into a normal map, of course. And this is an outlandish idea, but I think it would be really fun, and it just would enhance the Killer Klowns experience, in my opinion. What if there were a random chance of the UFO spawning close enough in-map as an alternate Easter egg escape route? Similar to defeating Jason in Friday the 13th, there are secret steps you must take to be able to get into the UFO. Perhaps killing all of the clowns at least once, and then the doors will open and you can go through and save someone optionally. Perhaps Western Newton or Pooh Bear the dog from the movie. I would like to say Farmer Gene Green as well, but once again, that may be complicated if you want the likeness. Otherwise, they could figure it out. You could have a beginning cutscene of them being taken into the UFO in a balloon or a cocoon. That and some other things could be saving them, and some other things could be extra objectives for XP, and you could either skip those objectives or have it required to do all of them, and then that activates the Clownzilla boss fight. And if you set something up in one of the side objectives in the UFO, you can make it so the clown players can't come into the arena. They can help Clownzilla by trying to drop things on top of you or something like that. You could even make rewards for doing these objectives for the first time, like unlocking Western Newton or Gene Green as playable characters, and having Pooh Bear be on your loading screen in the menu or something cute and silly like that. Or you could get crazy with it and integrate Pooh Bear into gameplay somehow. And if you defeat Clownzilla as a survivor, you get some vibrant Rockstar outfits or something like that, something worth going for. And if you kill him multiple times, there could be a lineup of things. Or you could do some survivor outfit rewards inspired by the outfits, or directly the outfits that the band members of the Dickies who made the Killer Klowns theme, the outfits that they wore in their music video for the movie. That could be a fun reward too, I think. Something cool as a reward will do just fine. And if you successfully defend Clownzilla as the clowns, you can get a scaled down Clownzilla, whether it's just for whichever clown it fits best for, or you can have a mini version for Shorty, which I think would be pretty funny. And you can do color variations for doing the challenge multiple times as well. That's just a crazy idea. That fits more into the gameplay line of things, but since we're talking about the UFO map, that's just something I had in mind. I cannot really think of too many new map ideas. I think they've covered a decent amount of locations from the movie. And no, I wouldn't have any problem with them coming out with new maps that have no relation to the movie, as long as they fit with, within the 80s time period. Like I said earlier, just on a guess of that 4th, September month on the roadmap and that tease, it made me think of a mall or something big. But for the first map tease, I was thinking for a second, Dark and Damp or something like that? Could also be attributed to sewer. I think that could be fun. You'd have to have a very maze-like sewer that does and doesn't have dead ends, because it would just be obnoxious, but it'd be a fun one, maybe. I don't mind them doing different locations at all. Mix it up. I also want to take a moment and make everybody aware who doesn't know, because I was made aware today. The original idea for the game was to have 25 humans in one match. 7 of them were controlled by actual players and the rest were bots, and on the map would just be 3 clowns. And when you die or escape as a human, you take over a different bot, kind of like how the game actually operates now, because I believe when you jump in, you take a bot's place in the game. And I think that would just be a really fun idea. Obviously you'd have to make it a bit harder to escape, because then as clowns, I don't know the full aspects of how it would work, but as clowns it would be a lot harder, I would think. And that's probably related to how some of the things the clowns had were taken away, like Shortys Bike, some of the weapons, some of the abilities, like baby clowns. They made the clowns less unique. Like I was talking about earlier, you could use any gun on any clown, but it seemed like they were going to make something unique to each clown, and they kind of stripped that away, which I don't mind them doing at all, but I also don't mind them being stronger and having more abilities for a game mode like this with 25 survivors. It would add a different, unique sense to the gameplay, and I think that you could still make it work. You could even make it like a movie game mode where you kind of run loosely on the events of the movie. So you go from the start of the movie to the end, which is on the pier, and it'd be kind of cool to do something like that. And the survivors they have up to 25 lives, 25 chances to make it all the way to the end of the movie. Could be very unique. And then you could have, I think it wouldn't make sense to be able to beat the clowns by giving them a limited amount of lives too. So I think the clowns are only allowed to run out of lives once you hit the inside of the UFO. I think that could be pretty unique. Could have cutscenes from one map to the next, kind of telling a story, like I said, loosely based on the events of the film. You do your own story completely and just kind of mirror the film in your own way. I would play that. Might be kind of niche and different, but I think it would be unique. This is really outlandish, but I was just thinking, what if they did like a Mario Kart inspired game mode? It's very silly and outlandish, I know. It's just like a party mode idea. You could repurpose the existing maps to be racetracks. You could do a new unique racetrack that takes place inside the UFO. I can imagine like spiraling down racetrack or something like that. A giant clownzilla throwing stuff at you or something like that. Something very alien circusy. Like, you could have the game mode be very Mario Kart-esque, like you'd throw pies and those could be like the squids that block out people's screens for a short time. Sorts of humor like that, of the clowny caliber, if you will, that works similar to Mario Kart. Could have anything from clowns and their mini invisible cars to using the clown car from the movie. Humans could have normal cars or go-karts, or even use the Terenzi Brothers ice cream truck. Then you gotta remember, this is still a horror game of sorts, so you could still give the clowns an advantage, and you can try and kill each other on the go-karts. You know, like maybe you can run into a crate and it can give you a gun or something silly like that to try and kill the humans or the clowns. Something funny like that. Like I said, it's outlandish, but it could be funny and just an alternative. You could do... I've always liked infected kind of game modes where once you kill somebody, they join your team kind of thing. I don't know if that would really work for killer clowns, but if they want to make that work, that could be fun. You could kind of do it to where like there's one clown that starts off, and when they kill somebody, you could have them turn into a lackey, and then when the lackey kills somebody, they turn into a normal clown. Something like that. But yeah, I've always enjoyed the infected kind of game modes. Or a hide and seek game mode where you're just trying to stay hidden for as long as you can. You'd need a map with a lot of hiding spots though, but I think that could be a lot of fun too. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for this video. Let me know what you think about all I've talked about. I want to hear your ideas. I would love if the devs saw this video, of course. It'd be cool, and then you could let them know what you want to. I just want the best for this game, and I can't wait to see what they have to offer. I think they also have an event coming out soon. They announced on their Twitter. I don't know exactly what it will be. I also hope they have a crazy Halloween event going on soon as well. they kind of allude to that on the roadmap. But anyway, thank you once again for watching. It means a lot. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and leave a dislike if you didn't, and say hello to the void for me.